Hello, people of the world. Well, first of all, I wanted to say that I hate flies. Those little bugs, those insects, I think that we could honestly live without them. And, flies are sort of drawn to evil. And did anybody notice how a fly landed on Hillary's forehead and then her chest? During the second debate? That's a pretty big sign right there. So, anyways, back to my original idea for this video, and I will try to make it as fast as I can. Some tips on EMP proofing. Obviously, we've heard a lot about EMPs through YouTube and other social networks, but I'm trying to compile a big, what's really gonna work kind of thing, kind of an idea that I'm working on. So I have my notes here, and I'm just gonna read them off basically. So I heard about this thing called Radiant Guard. That's RADIANT Guard, and it's normally used in attics and in insulation projects, like around your hot water heater, or in ground flooring, like underneath, like in-ground heating, and also on walls. But you could, since it is, just think about the name, Radiant. And the name brand that I got was from HomeDepot.com, and I looked this up, and it was called Reflectix. So, Reflectix kind of sounds like, it will reflect, bouncing off, whatever kind of hits it. So that, to me, it's made of metal. It's got some kind of metal in it. But I think that it would work great if you could, and you can get a batch of it for, 24 inches wide and 100 feet long for only about $60 at Home Depot. And that is going to be my Faraday cage for my car. Have you ever heard of a Faraday cage? I'm sure you have. Here's some tips on how to build one. I haven't done this yet, but I will. You can get and I saw this on another video too, but I also, before I saw this video, I looked it up on Home Depot, because I was like, I already know what kind of things to get because I watched a previous video on how to build this kind of like homemade Faraday cage. And so it's Barron's 31-gallon galvanized steel round trash can with lid. And then they also have a 6-gallon galvanized steel round trash can with locking lid. I don't know what the difference would be between the locking lid and, I guess you could keep it more safe, I guess, if it was locked, but the only difference in price is seriously $4.01, basically. So I would go for the bigger one because, think about it. If the grid goes down, you're not going to be able to use your phone. You're not going to be able to use your computer. But what you will have that you would want to keep safe in those things would be your pictures and any kind of documents you have. So, keeping those things safe does seem like a good thing to do. I know I have a ton of pictures, family pictures, and I wouldn't want to lose them. So on my computer, I would want to put it in something safe just to protect it, and also my phone and my cameras. And apparently it's best to take out the batteries in these things before you put them in the Faraday cage. But of course, who knows when to do that? Nobody knows when anything like this is going to happen. So I'm going to try to make this very quick. So, you know, some tips would be also, okay, if you want to wrap your whole car in the radiant guard or the Reflectix material, without scratching your car, you might want to put a blanket first over your car and then put that stuff on. And also, you might want to, I mean, and this is if you don't drive your car like every single day. Like, if you're not driving your car every day, this makes sense to do. I mean, if you have an extra car, that's great, and you can do that to make your car safe, so you have a spare car, so that your everyday car, you know, you can just hop in and, you know. But then what happens if you're stuck? You know, it's like, what happens if it goes off and you're stuck in town and you have a really long way to drive? And that's, you know, the kind of things that get on my mind with my family and everything. So, but for me, I don't drive my car a lot, so wrapping it with a blanket and then wrapping it with this radiant guard wouldn't seem like such a bad idea. And then there's also this aluminum foil tape. Well, it's called foil tape, and it doesn't cost very much. It's very, very inexpensive. I think it was like maybe under $6. And you can also get that at Home Depot. So what you would do, I would assume, is just cover your car with a blanket. Then start stripping, you know, the stuff over your car, the guard, the radiant guard over your car. Or strip it beforehand and just start taping, you know, the things together. And then just like kind of drape it over your car and tape it with the metal tape, with the foil tape. So tape it with the foil tape, tape it around your car, and then, you know, when you're ready to drive your car, if you have to go somewhere someday, you know, untape it, take it off. Another thing you can do, if you wouldn't want to extra double protect it, is that you can also do this under the hood. So you have this stuff over the hood, and you also have it under the hood. So that would kind of like be a barrier, because it's like an insulation type stuff. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know much about this. I'm just kind of putting things together in my mind, trying to think of what I can do. So if anyone's got ideas for me or tips, that would be awesome. 2 thumbs up. So another thought I had was just kind of taking this radiant guard and, you know, wrapping it around the battery area in the front of my car, which the battery actually isn't in the front of my car. It's actually like the components are where you have to jump your car, but the battery is actually somewhere way in the back of my car, and I have no idea where. Underneath a bunch of stuff. I don't know, but I would have no idea how to change my battery if it ever came to that, which I need to figure out. So don't be stupid about your car. Figure out what you need to know about your car. If you need a new battery, if you need to keep a battery on hand and know how to change that battery out, you need to figure that stuff out. And I want to figure that stuff out. I want to figure things out. Because, I mean, if my battery gets zapped, if I'm unprepared, I'm going to want to have an extra one on hand in my Faraday garbage can. And I want to know where it is and how to access it and everything. So you would want to disconnect, obviously, I think the negative charge of the battery. I talked with the mechanic today, and that's what he said. Let's see. I already talked about that. With the makeshift Faraday cage, if you want to get, you want to insulate it. You don't just want to have metal. So that's why I'm thinking of insulation for my car. What can I insulate it with? Should I use some kind of rubber, like a rubber mat, to put over the hood of my car, like the underneath of the hood of my car? And then should I put the metal overneath the car? And then, what about the stuff under the dashboard? Because I want to be able to have everything working. And if not everything, then at least I want it to drive so that I can go visit my family, so that we're not separated in case the worst should happen. And I hope that a lot of you are thinking about these kind of things in case the worst should happen. I want you all to be connected to your families so that you can, group together and not be separated, because we're not going to have phones to call each other on. We're not going to have computers to talk to each other on or use to get any information. So make sure you get a radio, AM, old-fashioned AM FM radio from Radio Shack. I still have yet to get one, if I can ever find one. I went to Walmart the other day and I couldn't even find the camping cooking section. It was ridiculous. So, it's just, what is going on? I mean, I went a few months before and there was a whole ton of camping cooking stuff, and also toiletry stuff and just everything that you needed for camping. And then suddenly it's like that aisle just completely vanished. It's gone with the wind. Anyways, and actually I spoke to an older man who was helping me in Walmart in one of the sections, in the fishing gear section, let's just call it that. And he said, don't speak too loud, or they might make that happen. And to be honest, I was like, do you have to register this? And he was like, no, but don't speak too loud because they might hear you. And I was like, what? Seriously, they might hear me. Anyways, I'm sure they're hearing a lot of people. And a lot of people, are out there and they're getting all kinds of heavy things. And seriously, just take care of your family. That's all you have to do. Get food, water. Make a Faraday cage so you can stay in contact with your family. And seriously, if President Putin ever sees this video, please, President Putin, don't ever send an EMP our way, because I think I would break down and cry. I did tonight, just thinking about that. And I think that it's very sad that things have come to this. And I hope that it is not our country, the United States, that is going to make things happen for the worse. So in conclusion, I just want to say that let's make peace, not war. And I have family in Alaska, and I heard something, and I would really, about, you guys the Russians lining up there, or, getting prepared there, and I would really, really love to not have my family get harmed, or anyone else, because we're God-fearing, we love Yahuah, we love our God, we love our country. We could have better government, yes, but let's keep the peace, please. That's all I ask. That way we wouldn't have to do all this. But the powers that be, please keep the peace. Let's keep the peace. That's all I can say. That's all of the words that can come out of my mouth right now. Is President Vladimir Putin, can we please keep the peace? And please do not send an EMP over here. Please do not send nuclear bombs over here. I know that things have been rough between the relations in the world, all over the world, but it doesn't make any sense to take out innocent people, and that's all I have to say on that, because we are innocent people here. There are a lot of innocent people here, just like there are in Russia and in China. And I'm sure there's innocent people in North Korea too. So, that's my 2 cents. And I hope you all have a good night. And maybe take some notes. Get prepared. Love one another. And that's all. Peace.